Hey everyone, today we have some really old coffee that we're going to be opening up and see what it tastes like inside. So the first thing is amazing that we were able to find coffee this old. This is from 1939, really old coffee. It's almost 90 years old, super awesome. It's made by Hills Brothers Coffee. Now, we've opened up many products in the past and I've tried many coffees in the past. I tried coffee in a can with a turnaround key from the 1940s. It was perfect. It tasted just like the day it was made, and it smelled perfect. And I honestly think back then maybe they had more caffeine. That old coffee kept me up better than any energy drink ever could, or any recent coffee I've had. It was very energizing for some reason. So, can't wait to try this old container in a jar. Did it hold up? Did the gasket around the top go bad? I don't know. This is in extremely good condition for its age, which is awesome. And by the same company, Hills Brothers, we also have this 1980s bag of coffee. And if I go up to it, I can still smell coffee right through it. It smells really good, actually. So I'm very hopeful that both of these products didn't go rancid. Now, I've had stale coffee, and it hasn't been good. It's all about how it's stored. If something from the 40s can taste perfect, I'm sure this is going to taste all right. But this being in a bag, I'm not exactly sure. The newer one says it's made by Nestle, while the other one does not. Nestle seems to buy a lot of companies up. They seem to just acquire and buy out lots of companies that we've reviewed. A lot of containers I have up here on my shelves aren't made by Nestle, but if you look up the modern product, a lot of these companies were actually bought out. But this is really interesting because these days a lot of coffee comes in a container like this or a plastic jar. Now, plastic we've been over before is semi-permeable. Basically, any material in the world is permeable to some extent, even steel and glass, but it's going to take hundreds of years to notice anything with those. However, plastic, like I have a lot of plastic bottles and stuff, it can evaporate through the plastic over the decades and you'll notice a slight drop. Same with air, it can make things go stale over the decades. So coffee usually holds up really good. I'm actually hopeful for both of these. Coffee is definitely a prepping food, and if you can, get it in a can or a glass jar if you're keeping it for the long term. Now I'll show you what I got over on my shelf, then I'll give you a close-up look at these products. Right over here on my shelf, I have this decaffeinated 1970s, maybe 1980s instant coffee. Right here's a little free sample from the 60s or maybe early 70s. Right here from the 1940s. This coffee was actually awesome. It tasted the same as the day it was made. Smelled extremely good. And maybe there was more caffeine back then. I don't know what it was, but this coffee kept me up better than any energy drink or any coffee I've recently had. Now here's a close-up look at these products. Up on the top, I don't think this is made out of steel, maybe tin or something. It's got patina on it, but it's not actually rusting. This thing is in extremely good condition. I can't believe it. I remember when I opened the 1940s coffee, I actually took some of this and, yeah, it actually tasted good just eating the coffee beans themselves. So I'm going to make sure everything focuses in case anybody wants to read it. 1 pound. Red can brand. Cool. Underneath. Perfect. Now the one over here from the 1980s, we're going to cut it open with scissors in just a minute. Trying to make sure it focuses in, even though this looks like it's been moved around. It even looks like it could potentially have a little bit of water damage to it. Probably didn't get in, but it looks like at one point this got wet wherever it was stored. But for something from the 80s, being potentially about 40, 50 years old, it's in pretty good shape. Nice. All right, Let's get that coffee maker brewing and go get a whole bunch of coffee mugs from the kitchen. And yes, this coffee video, I actually have milk. We don't have to substitute it for something like evaporated milk or eggnog like we've had to do in the past, because I don't usually keep milk in the house. But honestly, after that video we made a bit back of that Nesquik, I actually started liking that. So I bought some new Nesquik and I've been drinking a lot of it. That's why I have milk in the house this time. Got the coffee maker. Got to get the cord out of it. Plug it in. Let's head over to the sink and get some water. I filled it up to the number 6 line. We're going to do that with both batches. All right, everyone. We are back from the sink. Let's pour some water into the back. Good. Now I can't wait to open this up. Let's see how the coffee's going to smell. We're going to do the really old one first. Now, how stuck is this going to be for almost 90 years? Is it going to open right up? I think it will. I think it's going to open. Oh my gosh. That's actually a really hard jar. Might have to hit it with something. Yeah, that's not opening. Gotta get the knife out. Just give it a tap and it should open if it's like any modern jar. Oh wow, it's still not opening. Oh, there we go. Did you hear that? It had a vacuum on it. It just sucked in. And if that's from the factory, I bet it's going to be fine. Don't smell it yet. Here's the inside of it. That is an interesting cover. I'll show you that in a minute. Ooh. Inhaled a little bit of it by accident. Oh, that smells really good. I just can't get enough of it. Yeah, that smells incredible, actually. Wow. Nice, nice. Now here's a close-up look at the open coffee. Looks like there's a piece of wheat in there or something. Like it got mixed in from like a wheat field or whatever. And look at the top of the cover. Can you see how raised that is in the middle? Like this, the middle of this, I'd say is a couple millimeters from where the actual gasket is. Can you see how raised up that is in the middle? And it's really hard. Like this has a hollow bubble in it. Can you see that? Interesting. All right, let's go ahead, pour a little bit of it in. We're gonna eyeball it and try to make it even with the 80s product too. So I want to put a good amount in there just to make sure we can actually taste it real good. A little more just to make sure it's nice and strong so we can actually taste it real good. All right, time to close it up, turn it on, and we should have something good in the next 10 minutes. All right, everyone, while we wait for that, let's get this thing open. Oh, there it is. There we go. You can use this knife. This is a very sharp knife. Nice and carefully. Nice. Okay, here we go. What's inside? It looks good. Give it a big sniff. Is it the same flavor of coffee? It looks like it's probably the same thing. It doesn't smell bad. Somehow this right here smells like richer or stronger. Yeah, it somehow smells stronger. Now this doesn't smell bad. This smells good. but this is like more potent of a smell somehow, because this was completely sealed, and this I presume to have some sort of air leak, because I could smell it on the outside. But yeah, I think it's going to be good. Both of these products I think are going to be good. Now I wonder if they'll taste any different when we have these coffee cups side by side. Open that one back up. Here's the one from 1939 and the one from the 80s. See how this one looks darker? It's more rich. To me it seems to be fresher. Well, it is fresher by many decades, but I think it's just a slightly different crop. Because see, this right here seems like to be more fine pieces. There are some bigger pieces, but the majority of it is smaller chunks. It's ground more fine. Maybe that's why I'm smelling it stronger. This seems to be bigger pieces. That being said, I still believe that coffee over there smelled stronger than any of these. But it's different kinds, different brands. We're going to have to wait another half hour to even know the results of how these are going to taste. But so far, it's looking fine. Filling up that coffee pot. We are brewing something from 1939. Awesome. Alrighty. It is done. It has stopped dripping. Let's shut it off so in a few minutes it doesn't make a explosive noise when we pour more cold water into the burner. Alright. We had it up to the number 6 line. We lost a little bit. That's because the water stuck up in here. Just a little bit of it would account for the steam. So here we go. Good amount of coffee. After this video, I might do something else if I am energized enough. I also need to install some doorbell wire, so we might do that tonight too. Let's go over to the sink and get some more. This should be tempered glass, but it's still too hot to touch, and I don't want to put cold water in it. So we'll put hot water for now, then cold. Just cool it down slowly so we don't break it. Up to the number 6 line. All right, everyone, let's start up more coffee. Water. Let's change out the filter. Everything is nice and clean now, so this can be perfectly done without any cross-contamination taste, although it probably wouldn't be much. All right, here we go. Put a good amount of it in there. Good. Let's start it up. Now this I'm going to go ahead and put in some mason jars so we can preserve it. Now how many jars do we think this is going to take? 2, maybe a little more. At least it's something easy to pour out of. It's nice how back in the day coffee was sold by volume, not by weight. So you actually got a full container. These days you open up a coffee can and they're like 2/3 of the way full. Is it gonna fit? I think it will once we compact it. Yep, it's gonna fit perfectly in 2 containers. Now I gotta get out Sharpie and label this so we don't get it mixed up with the 1940s coffee. Oh, I gotta show everyone this. Now that it's empty, you can see there's a ton of little holes that air could have been getting in through. This coffee appears to be blacker than the other one. So, just labeled everything. Now look inside here. Here, we're just examining the inside right now. Take a look in there. You can see it's like a Mylar bag. Now we shut the flash off. I'm gonna put the lens inside here, put it up to the light. Look at that. Now a lot of that might be areas where it's not technically letting air in. It might just be scratched through, making it transparent. Some of the aluminum on the inside may have got scratched away, so you're able to see through the plastic, which is kind of let the light in, but some of these look like actual holes. See the damage on the outside? There are actually a couple, I'm sure, actual holes in there. Alrighty, we're just about done. It's still dripping out of the grounds, but you hear the noise the pump's making. It's no longer pumping anything. Ah, it just shut off the heater, I heard it. Alright everyone, I think I might have to go get some more coffee mugs. I don't think it's going to fit in these two. All right, we got one more. Let's see if it'll fit in this last one. Yep, perfect. Perfect. Now let's add some milk to them all. To some of them, actually. I want to taste a few of them completely black. So we'll leave this one without any. All right, we'll let these cool for a little bit. Then I'll be back to try them out. All right, everyone. I've been letting this stuff cool down for a long while. So let's try the black ones first, just to see how they taste. So, 1939 cup of coffee here. Tastes great. Now let's try the other one. A bit more bitter. So I was right about it being stronger and richer just by the smell. But other than that, I like the flavor of the one from the 30s a lot better. Now let's try some with cream in them. Perfect, I love it. So, in my opinion, there's nothing wrong with these coffees. They taste the same as they're supposed to. But the one from the 30s just has a different flavor, and I like it a lot better. The other one's it's just more bitter to me. I could add more milk. That would probably solve it. I do think the newer one is a lot stronger, too. It might be just because the other one's a bit older. Really good, though, both of them. delicious. I'll keep on drinking as I clean up this mess. All right, everyone, I got everything cleaned up now, and I hope today's video was interesting. Thanks for watching, and have a great day. I'll be sure to drink the rest of that throughout the night.